industry, understand more of the concepts. It's so important for a Cayman.
Absolutely.
Right? We have to understand the industry that drives us.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Now, there's the LEAD internship program. What is this program all about? Break it down for us.
Absolutely. So I am very proud of this program because we've had a student program for a number of years. Obviously, we had a break during COVID. And when we came back last year, so 2023, we wanted to revamp the program. And a lot of that had to do with a whole new team. We had our new CEO, and we were making a lot of changes. And with anything, I always think about who is our target demographic. This is the students. So why am I mid-career coming up with this program? Let's ask the students, let's ask the people that are going to benefit from this program, what kind of program they want. And so even the name itself came from one of our interns. So we have interns now, which we're going to kind of go into a little bit more later about that program. But one of our interns at the time came up with the actual name. So even the name, the branding came from one of our interns. So I think that in itself just stresses how important everything that we do, there's intention behind it. And so we came up with the name and we went to market with it. And so I can't praise the program enough, even if I wasn't at Cayman Finance, because it really is a unique program. There absolutely is nothing like it in Cayman that I have seen, because it's not just an internship program. It's not just giving a student an opportunity. It's giving students what I think a lot of people in my career didn't get when we were going through university, high school, primary school, is a real understanding of the different careers that are available in the financial services industry. When you talk about finance, you think accounting, you think law, you might think banking because, you have a bank account, you go into the bank. You might think insurance, but you're thinking car insurance, health insurance. You're only thinking of the things that you are aware of, that are visible to you. But the opportunities, the careers that are available are absolutely endless. And so it's education. So it's going into the school at an early enough age before you're making decisions about what degree you're going to study. Because there's no point in me, going through all that, going through the application process, getting into school, and then it's like, oh, I actually really want to study to be an actuary now. It's going in at, maybe grade 9, grade 10, and really educating the students around what careers are available. So we do workshops. So that's the first thing we do is we offer the opportunity up to 50 students, and we do workshops. And it's not just me speaking. It's getting the experts, the people that live and breathe this in the industry, come in every week and speak to our students. They talk about their journey. How did they become a lawyer? How did they become an actuary? How did they become a trust professional? They talk about, the pros of being in the industry. What degree did they get? They talk about specifics and they make it exciting. And I think what's great about that is you really see their mind shift, because when you ask them at the beginning, hey, what do you know about finance? And they'll be like, kind of what I said, I know about insurance and car insurance, and I know about accounting, or my mom works in the bank. And then at the end of it, you see them say, wow, okay, this person came in, I'm talking about crypto. I'm hearing buzzwords that I've never heard about before. I really could see myself in a career in insurance. An actuary came in and I'm blown away. And so I think that's getting them excited because they see so many opportunities, and especially individuals that maybe don't want a traditional accounting pathway. They don't want to be an accountant, but maybe they want to do something like, something to do with cyber, something to do with tech. And the opportunities in that space in financial services are endless. So that's wonderful. So we have the workshops, and then we have mentoring. So within the workshop period, 1 hour a week, they are mentored by one of our members. And these are partners in some cases. These are very busy, important people, and they care about these students, and they're putting aside an hour a week to meet with these students, to talk about the opportunities, to bring them into their office and show them what it looks like, and let them know this could be you and it will be you, and kind of give them that boost. And then lastly, it's the internships. That's the part that they all love, right? Because you're getting paid. But they get to see it all come to life after they learn about it. And they work with one of our members. So this benefit is for our members only. So to be a part of the program, you have to be a member of Cayman Finance. And so they go to work with any one of our member firms for a month. And all around, it's a phenomenal opportunity for these individuals. But again, nothing like it.
Okay, so I thought the I'm not sure about Casey and Chloe in here, but I thought the interns worked directly with Cayman Finance. interning
No,
directly
that's
in.
another thing. We've got a lot
Okay.
going on. We're
Yeah.
busy.
We're so busy.
Awesome.
So busy.
I love that. It's almost like a placement in the sense of helping them.
Yes.
So it's not just right there, but you're
absolutely.
helping the community, or sorry, your members, right? So we have that. You have the interns that are coming in, and then you're able to have that kind of networking going on.
Oh,
so they can see, okay,
absolutely.
these young adults are coming up, and this is what they want to study. This is our experience with them. It could provide further opportunities for a career path.
Oh, yeah.
So
And
I
I've
love
seen
that.
so many success stories where, students that have been through the program in previous years are now working at those member firms. So they actually have full-time employment with these member firms that they interned with years ago. So you're seeing it come full circle. So it's not just a one and done. It's carrying them through, after their degree as well.
And that's how you know the program is a success.
Exactly.
You're actually measuring what
Exactly. The
what's going on with your
KPIs.
programs.
Exactly.
Yes. I had a little show about that on Tuesday. So I think that's so important. That's great. Okay, so you said something when you were speaking about your experience in high school and how the internship programs, I guess, were set up then.
Yeah.
So what were the holes for you in high school? Like,
How much time do we have?
you got like maybe a couple minutes before we go to break.
I'm joking. No, I think what it is I think in a lot of ways we have improved, not just in terms of the internship opportunities or the lack thereof. But I think for me, the biggest thing is that lack of knowing what was out there. So in our education, we weren't learning, you learn about economics, you learn about macro, you learn about micro, you learn about the big picture, but I don't learn anything about Cayman specifically. I'm not learning about how to bring this experience and this knowledge and understanding to Cayman. I'm not hearing from someone coming into the school and telling me, if you study this, you could do this. And then even at the career fairs, what I found, which is not the case now, thankfully, I find that it was more just, it was just fun. You go, you get some merchandise, you chat, you shake a couple of hands, and that's it. It's not bring your resume to the career fair and potentially get an opportunity. It's not, let's practice your interviewing skills. It wasn't anything tangible for me. And I think you're setting up your young people for failure because you're giving them these opportunities, or you're kind of checking a box. And that's kind of what I felt it was. And so I think as you grow, I think you identify, and, I've had conversations with our interns about what they even see that we're missing now in this day. So you're always growing and you're learning. So it's no fault to those that were, educating us and leading us, I'm not going to age myself, a couple of years ago.
Yes, you're still very young.
Exactly.
Of course.
But I do think that there were gaps, and I think it was purely, for me, the biggest gap was the education, and I think that's what Cayman Finance is really trying to fill. Is we're not saying you're guaranteeing employment. You have to show up and get that, but it's all about the education, and I think that's the part that we've missed. And it wasn't a public versus private school; it was all over. That was really what we were missing, is the education.
All right, Alana, can you reflect? It wasn't that long ago for you either.
Mine was about 5 minutes ago, honestly. Honestly, I think the evolution, and I think what's so great about what I've taken from my time at Cayman Finance is we really lean on our members and we grow not only from our members, but with our members. And so what I can say is, Brittany led the LEAD program last year. Right now it is spearheaded by Associate Director Danielle Hennings, but we have really worked in tandem with a lot of the great programs that are in existence, such as the DART Minds Inspired WorkX program. And so we have really consulted with stakeholders in the industry to say, what are the best pieces of all of the programs that are happening right now, and how do we, with our very small team, use our resources and our influence to bring that into financial services too, because for the point that we were making earlier, financial services is the greatest economic driver in the Cayman Islands. And so if we can introduce our students to that from the jump, we have changed lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. We're going to go to a commercial break right now. I was about to ask a question, then boom, it escaped me just like that. So we're going to go to the commercial break. We're going to hear from the interns when we return.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
The 1700s proved to be a very important century to the Cayman Islands. Permanent settlement of Grand Cayman began with a few families, most notably the Boddens. Between 1734 and 1742, 5 land grants in Grand Cayman were made by the governor of Jamaica. At this time, mahogany and logwood were exported to Jamaica. In 1780, William Eden, a mariner and early English settler, established a cotton and mahogany plantation in Savannah's Pedro Bluff and built St. James, now known as Pedro St. James Castle, a remarkable building for that period and the only house on Grand Cayman to survive a devastating hurricane of 1784. In 1794, the wreck of the 10 sails occurred, and Cayman's most popular legend of how the island became tax-free was born. In 1798, the governor of Jamaica appointed the first magistrate in Cayman.
Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community, a traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way, positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
On behalf of the Port Authority of the Cayman Islands, the Ministry of Ports is hosting a public consultation meeting to examine the options for the future expansions of the cargo port. This is your chance to share your views and shape our island's future. You can join them tonight, Thursday, August 1st, at the Church of God Chapel in Bordentown. Meetings will begin at 6:30 p.m. and if you can't make it, participate through the online survey, which you can access on the ministry's government page, or tune in live on Facebook. Your voice matters, so be a part of the conversation and help build a better future for our Cayman Islands. For more details, visit gov.ky/tourism-transport or follow the Ministry of Tourism and Ports on Facebook and Instagram.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the people's station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Business Buzz. All right. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and I am speaking with Cayman Finance, Brittany McVicker, Alana Warwick-Smith, and we have some interns in here with Cayman Finance, which is Chloe Jackson and Casey Rose. Right before the break, Alana was talking a little bit about how much Cayman Finance works with their stakeholders. And my question for you, Alana, is there's going to be a lot of emerging industries in the very near future for Cayman coming right up.
Definitely.
3 years, 5 years from now. And there's definitely skill gaps.
Yes.
So with Cayman Finance, do you guys communicate with your stakeholders to find out what they think some of the immediate skill gaps are, what the future skill gaps likely could be, and how to kind of help fill those emerging industry positions that they may have?
We do. Cayman Finance, we are committed to our community and we are also committed to our members. And so a great example of that, we were recently attending the Cayman Island Society for Human Resource Professionals conference earlier this year in May, and we polled all of the HR managers on island. What are the gaps? What are the gaps where we cannot identify Caymanian talent? And so that we can refer back to work and our relationship with work to say, this is how we, these are the areas that we need to go and train Caymanians. This is where we need to go and focus our efforts. We have a lot of projects in the pipeline that we're very excited about that we can't quite introduce to the public yet, but a lot is coming out of Cayman Finance.
You'll come back and introduce them.
Yes.
All right. So we talked about the lead internship program, and there's the Cayman Finance specific internship program as well.
Yes, we are committed to our young people. So the Cayman Finance internship program in 2022, when he's no longer new, our CEO, Steve McIntosh, came on board, he said, there's so many talented young people in the Cayman Islands, so many talented young Caymanians. Why are we not supporting them throughout the whole year? Summer internships are so normal, but we could do this all year. So Cayman Finance, I believe, I'm happy to be wrong on this, but I think we are one of the only companies on island who do a rolling internship program. So we actually offer internships every single quarter of the year. So we have 2 internships, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. It is not exclusive to the summer period. So with us today, we have our Q3 interns, Katie and Chloe, and I hope they'll tell you a little bit more about their experience with us.
Yes, I hope so too. So I'm going to start with you, Casey. Well, we're finally going to give you guys a chance to talk. Thank you for being patient with us. But let me know, how did you first even get involved with Cayman Finance? What made you decide, okay, this is who I'm going to apply to internship with?
Well, to be quite honest with you, LinkedIn is such a great tool, and I feel like every young Cayman needs to be on it and be looking, especially if they're in a particular industry. It's great to kind of link with those people in that industry. So I told Alana during my interview, actually, I've kind of been cyber stalking her because she is the epitome of what I'd like to be later on down my career.
I cried when I got home.
Oh, that's really nice.
So I kind of followed her journey in marketing, and I saw that she was working at Cayman Finance, and through that I decided to kind of look into the company a bit more, and I saw they were doing their internship program, so I said, why not, try to send in my application to kind of gain this experience.
Let me stalk her in person.
Yeah.
I'll let her know first.
Now she has me forever.
So what kind of roles do you do then now as an intern at Cayman Finance? What are you responsible for or learning?
Well, during my time at Cayman Finance, I feel like it's been such a valuable experience. So I kind of do everything. I touch within every department. So there's times that Brittany will talk to me about what she does with community engagement. There's times that I will lean on Alana for marketing advice. That's what my degree is in. There's time that Steve, our CEO, will come and ask us to do certain tasks for him. So I'm kind of in between everything, every department.
Okay. Has this experience so far helped you shape your idea for the future? Do you know, you said your degree's in marketing?
Yes.
Do you definitely want to stick with that, or has it also opened you up to maybe considering other career paths?
Well, at first I was a bit apprehensive about joining the financial sector because my degree is in marketing and I did not have the education or the knowledge that, we need marketers within this industry. So like Brittany said earlier, a lot of Caymanians, especially thinking about the financial sector, don't know that there's a place there for them. So for me in marketing, I feel like Cayman Finance has allowed me the opportunity to learn how to communicate within that space. And I feel like being a Caymanian and this being the financial hub of the Caribbean, essentially, is giving me such a great insight to it. Yeah.
All right, awesome. All right, Chloe, what about you? How did you first get interested in the Cayman Finance intern opportunity?
Well, similar to Casey, I actually came across it on LinkedIn, and my my previous mentor from a previous job I had when I was doing a gap year before going to university, she actually sent me the post. She found it before me, and she's really sweet. She's always helped me look for internships and other opportunities since that gap year experience. So she found it, and she said, "Oh, you should definitely apply." And I said, "Oh, for sure."
Okay.
So then I found it through that, and I'm super
So
glad
you're in a
that-
gap year right now?
No, that was 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did have that gap, but I still keep in touch with my mentor from that
Okay.
work experience that I
I
had.
like that. So that's that networking within the members, how
yeah,
it's working. I like that.
Yeah, so she sent that to me, and then I sent an application, and I couldn't be happier now.
These are future Simple members.
Yes.
Excellent. What's your degree and what are you studying?
I'm studying marketing as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Oh,
I cried with joy.
Yeah.
So part of your roles or what you're learning at Cayman Finance right now, what does that include?
Well, similar to Casey, she spoke really, really well about everything that we're doing. But I feel like we have a good balance, or I could say for myself, I feel like I have a good balance of helping all of the associate directors and everybody in the office with various tasks, and I can kind of balance that compared to the projects that I'm assigned specifically to learn. You know, if I want to develop a certain skill, or even like my interest in photography, they gave me the camera, and I'm just kind of playing around with things and seeing what I can use the camera for that can benefit Cayman Finance later on. And just any other projects in general. Really glad that I get to be a part of them and help the staff as well.
Okay. And I was going to ask you, is there a particular aspect of marketing that you're more interested in, but you also just in the photography part of it, so that creative part, I think.
Yeah, there's definitely a creative part, but I also am a bit of a math nerd. I feel like I like the data side a little bit. But this
That's
opportunity, this opportunity has made me feel a lot more okay with not being sure about a career in marketing. You know, I've just realized now, like Casey and Brittany were saying, that there's so many other opportunities within financial services. And that's why, you know, I've only been here a month, so the next 2 months I'll see how it goes, and I'm sure it will be amazing. But I'm looking forward to learning more about financial services and what it could maybe keep me in this career or change my path a little bit. I'm not sure yet.
Gotcha. I guess we'll see. We'll find out soon.
Yeah.
I love that. I love hearing that it helped you decide that this is a path that you know right now is right for you.
And it's
that
an
you wanna
option.
Continue being in. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's really great, which means there's a great success to your program. We already said it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can see the benefits with the program, right?
Yeah.
So.
And I think one other thing about the program, and again, I think Alana mentioned this earlier. If I'm wrong, I hope I'm proud to admit that I'm wrong. But I think another great aspect of the intern program that we have is not only is it a rolling internship program, but we offer in person and remote. So if you are a university student and you're away in the UK, for example, and you don't want to come back home, or it's while you're studying, you're at school, it's the spring semester, you can still be a part of our program. And I think it's a phenomenal way to be able to, obviously get some pocket change as a student, but you're able to, still get the internship, still get the experience, especially for students that maybe have a scholarship. You might have a scholarship with one of our member firms, and, sometimes that scholarship commitment requires an internship, in the summer or the winter. So you're still not excluded from our program because you could, do an internship with us during one of the other quarters when you're not back home, and you can do it while at school. So I think, it really opens up the opportunities and the scope of how many students, are able to be a part of the program.
I love it. I love the fact that there is a remote opportunity for internship, and I've never heard of that in my life. So that
I haven't either. I was like,
new to me.
If I'm wrong, I'm okay, but I think it might be the only one. Yeah.
We're going to be late for the 8 a.m. Headline news, so I'm going to give you 1 minute to wrap up if you want to give any final thoughts for our listeners.
I will wrap up. Thank you so much for having us. If you'd like to chat more with Cayman Finance, we will be at Hotel Indigo tomorrow from 8:30 to 2 o'clock. We will be attending the SEMA Student Career Fair and Mixer. It is open to the public. We are encouraging all young job seekers and university students who may be home for the summer to come and learn more about financial services and the opportunities that a career in financial services can provide for you.
Okay, wonderful. What a 1 minute wrap up right there, Alana. I'm proud of you. All right. And we're not even really that late for the 8 a.m. headline news. So we're going to go to we're about to go there, but my biggest news, my happiest news of yesterday, aside from Canada, Team Canada football soccer team, the women's team, has advanced to the quarterfinals, even after FIFA tried to badmind us and start us off in the Olympics minus 6 points. The girls themselves did not cheat. It was their coaches. Aside from that, Vibes Cartel is freed, and I'm very happy about that. I know it's not necessarily business news, but it is business news for Cayman Airways, because we might be chartering a flight for that first post-concert.
I'll be there with you.
We're going to go to the 8 a.m. news right now.
Radio Cayman time check now, 8:01. This time check brought to you by our friends at Foster's.
Happiness is finding quality products at great prices.
Just like the feeling of discovering the perfect outdoor furniture for your patio, or upgrading to the latest smart TV.
Or when you find that special something that you never knew you needed.
Exactly. Well, Happiness has a new home where you can find everything from bulk groceries, fresh fruit and veg, and small kitchen appliances to electronics, toys, garden supplies, and more. It's time to shop happy at Priced Right.
Discover our new look at pricedright.ky.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Karsley Fuller. Caymanian swimmer Jordan Crooks has advanced to the men's 50-meter freestyle semifinals in Paris. His time of 21.51 seconds sets a new Cayman Islands long course record, becoming the second Cayman Islands swimmer ever to advance to the semifinals in multiple events at the Olympics. Cayman Islands Olympic Committee press rep Kevin Morales spoke to Crooks poolside about this morning's race and him breaking his own Cayman Islands long course record by 0.2 of a second.
PB, a new national record, just what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I'm really grateful that, PBs don't come by super often, so just grateful for that as well, and then trying to use that as fuel to the fire to, be better. Yeah.
So you entered this event with the 16th fastest entry time, and then you swam the second fastest time in all of the heats. Did you exceed your expectations for this race?
The goal is always just to do better than I came in seated, so I guess so, yeah, and then just trying to be a better version of myself last year at this time, because last year was Worlds and that was a huge PB for me then, so just trying to use that as like the standard to jump past that, beat those times, and wasn't able to do that in the 100, but happy to be able to do it in the 50.
So how long can you kind of feel good about this race before you just switch your mind to tonight?
It's over already. It's all already focused on tonight and the job's not done.
Crooks also advanced to the semifinals earlier this week in the 100-meter freestyle, where he finished 13th overall. The only other Caymanian swimmer to advance to a semifinal in multiple events at the Olympics was Brett Fraser, who advanced in both the men's 100 and 200-meter freestyle in London 2012. Today's semifinals are taking place at 1:46 p.m. local time. Another potential cruise berthing referendum. Wednesday night, government announced cabinet has granted approval for a referendum to determine whether cruise berthing infrastructure should be provided to support the cruise industry in the Cayman Islands. The decision is, quote, based on the need for government to address the ongoing reduction in cruise passenger arrivals and the knock-on effects impacting Caymanian-owned businesses and the local economy. The tourism ministry says passenger numbers are down because Cayman doesn't have a berthing facility, with cruise lines skipping the country for destinations with easier embarkation. No date was set for the referendum, but it is anticipated it will be held before the end of the year. And the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has imposed new rules for traveling to the U.S. if you're traveling with your pet dog. Radio Cayman's April Cummings explains.
The new rules follow months of negotiations between the International Air Transport Association, IATA, and the CDC to facilitate both the convenience of pet transport and ensuring necessary safety procedures are met. Effective today, August 1st, the CDC requires that all dogs entering or re-entering the U.S. from dog rabies-free or low-risk countries like the Cayman Islands must now have a completed CDC dog import form, and the passenger accompanying the dog must be able to provide airline staff with a copy of their submission receipt upon check-in for their flight at Owen Roberts International Airport. The CDC also has some other requirements. Dogs must be at least 6 months old at the time of entry or return to the U.S. They must be in good health and have a microchip that can be read by a universal microchip scanner for identification purposes. Cayman Airways says it will do its best to keep passengers advised of any many changes, but passengers will be responsible for housing, caring for, and repatriating any animals denied entry to the U.S. April Cummings, Radio Cayman News.
The CDC is also recommending you fill out the newly required form several days before you travel. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with Danielle Yałowiecka. Israel says Mohammed Deif, the head of the Hamas military wing, was killed in Gaza last month. He was targeted in a strike more than 2 weeks ago, but his death, unlike that of another commander, couldn't be confirmed. Meanwhile, the funeral of the assassinated Hamas political leader has been taking place in Iran, with tens of thousands of people attending. Ismail Haniyeh died in a suspected Israeli strike on Wednesday. The main Islamist party in Bangladesh and its student wing have been banned from all political activities. The government says the Jamaat-e-Islami party were responsible for unrest that accompanied recent protests against government job quotas. It denies this. Protests against the increasing cost of living are taking place across Nigeria. There's a heavy police presence in many cities and tear gas has been used to disperse the crowds. Russia says it will shoot down any F-16 fighter jets given to Ukraine. Kyiv's allies say the first batch of planes that will boost the country's air defences has already been delivered. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
This is Winston Connolly, and I work in the financial services sector. I'm concerned about the way climate change is affecting our energy sector. Storms can delay fuel imports and damage infrastructure, and heat waves can destabilize the grid. These issues can prevent Caymanians from using their cars, lights, and air conditioning. To learn more about the climate risks to our islands, visit www.gov.ky/climate change policy.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning, Cayman. 8 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's take a look at your weather. Moderate east to northeasterly winds is expected over the Cayman area for the next 24 hours. An increased chance in cloudiness and showers are expected from Friday afternoon as a tropical wave approaches the Cayman Islands. And the Cayman Islands National Weather Service is closely monitoring an area of disturbed weather over the western Atlantic Ocean. National Hurricane Center has mentioned a 60% chance of formation over the next 7 days. This system poses no immediate threat to the Cayman Islands. Our forecast for today calls for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of the afternoon shower. Temperatures will rise to the low 90s with a heat index near 105. Winds will be east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Later tonight, partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of overnight showers. Temperatures will fall to the low 80s. Winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. We're now on a high tide. Low tide will be coming up at 2:02 this afternoon. It's going to be high at 8:46 this evening. The outlook is for similar weather through Saturday morning. And that, my friends, is your latest weather right here on Radio Cayman.
We were on the edge of a breakthrough. I knew the substance was extraterrestrial, but I didn't realize.
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with managing my insurance?
Well, long story long, the entire lab exploded. And the radioactive sludge went everywhere. I ended up in the hospital for a few weeks, but I was able to manage everything with the CG Online portal.
The online portal. Safe, convenient, simple. CG Britcay. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
All right, once again, good morning to my friends out there. Let's see how the traffic is moving right now. Coming out of the eastern districts, traffic is flowing smoothly. Looking at the east-west arterial. Similar traffic coming out of the Red Bay Prospect area, merging to the roundabouts. And of course, those getting in respective lanes. Some's going through South Sound. Some continuing on the Little Pearson and through Crew Road. We'll meet that traffic moving smoothly. Looking down from Jose's gas station, had slowed down a little bit, but traffic seems to be crawling like about 20 miles or less. Similar on the Linford Pearson, and of course getting to the Bobby Thompson Way. Expect light traffic as you get to the four-way stop. Continuing on Halder Avenue, we got some slow-moving traffic, getting to the CNB roundabout and continuing thereon. Of course, Elgin Avenue taking the influx of traffic as they head deeper into the Georgetown area. Shudden Road, similar with Eastern Avenue, taking in the influx of traffic. Godfrey Dixon Way, heading back to Butterfield roundabout. We do see a bit of traffic in the northward bound lane towards the roundabout. And of course, North Sound Road seeing a little bit of traffic, westward bound traffic, light traffic coming off the SLE Tibbets. Of course, North Church Street, Seafarers Way, seeing some light traffic as well. West Bay Road, coming back into the Georgetown area. Those going through South Sound, continuing through South Church Street. Those continuing through Walkers Road. We'll experience some traffic as you get nearer to the Georgetown area. Cayman Braga, Little Cayman, very light traffic this time of the morning. Of course, if you're heading towards the airport, very light traffic as well. Buckle up and stay safe. That traffic report brought to you by our good friends at Subway.
Summer's heating up, and so are the good times. Whether you are out on the water, enjoying the beach, or gathering with colleagues for an office bash, make it a feast to remember with Subway. From assorted sandwich platters to mouth-watering cookies, our catering menu has something for everyone. Perfect for groups of 5 or more. For food that's fresh, fast, and perfect for any occasion, choose Subway Catering. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
A dental checkup allows your dentist to identify any issues and maintain your oral health. Early treatment or prevention for problems is crucial, as untreated issues can become harder to manage later. Children should develop good oral health habits early to prevent tooth decay, which occurs when sugars from food and drinks interact with plaque bacteria, producing acid that causes cavities. Signs of tooth decay in children include yellow, brown, or black marks on their teeth and complaints of pain, especially when eating or drinking.
Sports. Stay up to date on your sports news with Radio Cayman Monday through Friday at 7 a.m., 6 p.m., and 10 p.m. It's all about sports.
Your sports news is brought to you by Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Village. What's up your prescription refills at 929-5045.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and I'm very happy to have with me in studio this morning on our second segment, we have Key Von Douglas of HD Digital Cayman. Good afternoon. Or, thanks. Good morning.
Good morning.
We were just talking about the importance of a radio show in the morning, too, and here I am like, it's already afternoon, guys. We'll get there.
Definitely.
So, I've known you for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
And for our listeners out there, I first knew Key Von as DJ Von. A lot of people are familiar with you as DJ Von. You would rock the party, absolutely.
Watch it.
It's very true, yeah. And, somebody who entertained us, gave us great times. I remember you on radio. And you had just told me that you did some TV, which I'm like, why don't I remember this part? Yeah. So it's really good to see how you have evolved through the different creative aspects in what you're doing right now. So I love to see it, and I'm proud of your growth.
Appreciate it.
And that's what we want to hear. I want to hear about your journey.
Well, the journey has been long and hard, but it has been very rewarding for me to just grow as a human being. Grow as a father. It's taught me so much on just business on a whole, just building systems, keeping relationships, just doing the best I can every single day. Like, that's the only way you move forward in business.
That's true.
You know, so it's taught me a lot in that aspect, and I think it has matured me quicker than typical, you know, male. Sometimes we take a while to hit maturity.
It's all right.
But it has helped me hit the ground, and definitely moving up in, I think, the evolution of talking about earlier me. I don't think a lot of people know, and I am a very, you know, undercover, you know, it's me kind of person. So yeah, I did start as Jay, and then quickly evolved. The story goes that Mr. Kenneth Bryan,
yes,
right, was before the political world was into the entertainment side, and I remember him being a promoter and a DJ, and I found out how much the difference was in pay, how much I was making versus how I was making. I was like, maybe to it a little bit and go into the promoter standpoint or entertainer company. I created an entertainment company and did very well, and I was involved in. They maybe thought I was a DJ, but I was a creative director and the catalyst for a lot of these things. And I realized quickly that I had a gift for delivering a message that people, maybe they have heard a message like that before, but the message I delivered was in turn made the product sound, feel, taste different. A lot of people wanted that. So I realized, okay, after I mastered the entertainment side, what is promotes, aka marketing? And my marketing was niched down to a certain demographic. So I said, well, maybe I can turn this into a business and offer the same service for other businesses out there. So here we are today.
All right. You said building systems. You learned the importance of building systems. I think that's something that just really rings true. And I want to say that I realized that when we were in like lockdown from COVID, how much structure was important to the routine and all the rest. So building systems was important to you. And as you said, you started off as a DJ, but then transitioned into promotions, became a promoter. There's a whole different aspect of that, right? Because I think it's a little bit more relaxing in the sense you get to be a DJ. Yeah, you have to have your set ready and all the rest and read the crowd. But there's so many more different aspects into putting on an event, right? So what was that responsibility change for you? Was it tough, or was it an easy transition for you?
It was easy. I'm just playing. No, I mean, I don't think a lot of people understand how much moving parts are in an event. So how I build systems out, and my brain sees things in patterns. So instead of saying, okay, I need to, if the event is called, let's just call one of them fog, right? Fog is there, but look at fog as a box, and then in that box has other boxes. So you may have 20 boxes where one of those boxes are communication. Another box is, let's say, financing. Another box is marketing. And in each of those individual boxes are other boxes of checklists and everything, right? So a lot of times I think we struggle as just human beings because we are always on the go. And we are always processing things in our minds. So we think that we have everything under control. And then what I realize is, once we structure things out and have that down on a piece of paper, just like you have the formula of the show, it becomes easier. It becomes, you know, and especially now
a blueprint.
A blueprint. It's a blueprint. It's a formula. I tell everything every time I speak about this to people. Everything we do is a formula, and once you perceive it as that, then you start to try to perfect the formula. 2 + 2 is a formula, but it's an easy formula.
Right.
And then when you're doing an event with over 2,000 people, there's so much moving parts there, safety, you know, just this the entertainment value, like you spoke about with the DJs. You have to curate them, and that in itself is a formula. That's a system, and you got to work on your communication because DJs are sensitive. So,
are you saying that from a personal aspect? DJs are sensitive.
You know, I thought I was not a sensitive DJ, but I think all DJs are sensitive, and we all have our egos, and that's what makes us unique. Is that sensitivity and that ego and that drive to be different. So there's nothing wrong with it. I think creators in a whole are different.
That's for sure. We have a little bit of a ego in a sense as creators, but nothing wrong with that.
Nothing's wrong.
And I would definitely have one if I was a DJ. Are you kidding? All these people that in that sense that you're giving a great experience to, and everybody wants to be your friend, hang out with the DJ, go in with the DJ, be on that DJ, like, you know. So it's kind of like it's.
So what I tell DJs, it's a transfer of energy. So you're transferring energy, and then you're also controlling everything. So you're controlling how much the bar makes. You're controlling, you know, how much people dance, how much people sing. So you control everything, and then when you make it about them, it comes back to you because these people had a good time. So it's never about you. But at the end of the day, if you do your job, you get the shine of it, right? So, and again, just to do that is the system you need to build as a DJ. It's a different radio interview.
Okay, so you went from DJ to promoter to what was the next step?
So right now I'm in marketing and content creation. So that's kind of where I settle for right now. And there's a lot of other layers I want to achieve in life, but I'll get there eventually. But right now we're just focusing on, creating a great service for people, which is, marketing their businesses, getting their messages out there, showing people what services they offer. But we kind of have a different way of doing that than the typical marketing company.
Okay, so right before we go there,
yeah.
Now you did tell me before the show started that you had a year stint with Daybreak. When we had came in 27,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So I just don't remember, but I have no doubt that at that time I did see you on Daybreak.
I was horrible.
So how did that even happen? Maybe you might have started off horrible, but I really doubt it. I mean, you have experience.
Yeah,
right?
I got okay, and I think that was a fun part. Just being, I remember being teased for like 2 weeks straight in a group chat with DJs. And shout out to DJ Lynn. He was one of them. He was the catalyst. And that's kind of what us guys do. We kind of just ran on each other, right? But it was good because...
Why were they making fun of it?
It was horrible. I remember the first show I came on, they were counting me down in my ear, 3, 2, 1. And for whatever reason, I guess because I was a newbie, they were like, you'll intro the show. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, okay. And then they're like, 3, 2, 1, go. I'm sitting there like... this awkward silence, just like it was just now, and then I'm like, and it was just, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. The first show, but you just get better. But Tommy, which we talked about off air, Tommy Suleiman, she seen something in me, and I think she just kind of looked at me and said, you know what, I'm gonna help this guy. He may not be where he needs to be at. I'll see his weak points, and then I'll give him the advice. Hopefully he'll take the advice. And I took the advice, and she has been an amazing person. Every time I see her, it's just always a good time. Good, hugs. How are you doing?
Great.
But Daybreak was fun. It was exciting. I had to wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning, go to work, and I got to interview people, meet people every single day, go out, record stuff. It got me into video. So if it wasn't for Daybreak, I wouldn't be where I'm at. Yeah.
Okay.
It's all connected.
Okay, and because that's what I was going to say. So that's why I thought it was important. Okay, let's hear your journey basically from the beginning. So from the DJ aspect to an event promoter.
Yeah.
And putting on the events, not just promoting the events, but the whole aspect of it, to presenting, so to be on radio and on television.
Yeah.
But it was the television aspect with the video part that now has led you with HD Digital.
Yeah.
Okay, that's that connector.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it about video that you were like, okay, this is something I want to explore even more?
Me and a gentleman, we spoke outside earlier just about the importance of things changing and the evolution. And I think I understood once I got into video, what is video? Video is really just frames.
Mm-hmm.
So 24 frames, 60 frames, 120 frames, slow motion, right? And essentially, if you have 24 frames in a second, that means I have fire safety over you. So if you're looking at, when I say that, I mean you're looking at it from a photo standpoint, and I have 24 photos per second. So therefore, that's a higher impact. And for me, it was, okay, here's how we level up from just photos to video, which is going to command more attention. So I have movies. I think people don't realize, the stories that are being written in movies allow people to sit down for 2.5 hours or something. That's where I'm not going to do that with photo. So for me, okay, I need to learn this in every way possible. So it's that's lighting, learn lighting. That's color theory, what evokes emotions. And 2.5 years after COVID, and I sat and I learned so plenty blows. I'm in out late 24 days and just learning things, understand, being that entrepreneur who's driven to just grow and learn every single day.
Where did you start learning?
YouTube. I have a bachelor's degree in YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you've been just courses. I invested very heavily in courses and time. I always tell people is how much time are you willing to put into something, and
invest was a key word there. So you invested
cash
into the courses.
Yeah,
okay.
Cash. But I think my highest investment was my time into myself.
Of course.
So
that's the best investment.
That's the best. That's our most valuable commodity is time. And I just said, okay, I got this from Gary Vee. He said, if you put 40 hours into something, you're going to be night and day from everybody else. And I took that and I ran with it. So if I'm starting something, the key stage is I need to put minimum 40 hours to start. And I'll time myself. So I'll sit down with a timer and say, okay, how quick can I get to 40 hours? Am I going to do 2 hours a day, or am I going to do 10 hours a day? If I do 10 hours a day, I'm just going to spend 4 days.
I thought it was 10,000 hours. Maybe that's
that's mastering something, right? So depends on what you're trying to do. You know, if you're really trying to be the best at something, I always believe that, you know, what's the terminology again? Jack of all trades but master of none.
Yeah.
That's actually not how the quote goes.
Really?
Yeah.
How do it go
I
then?
have no clue. I can't remember.
Okay, we're gonna have to find out.
It's like when we come off the break, it's better than I can't remember. I'll quote it properly after the break.
We'll find out.
And we'll come back. But yeah, it's not how that quote actually goes. So for me, I was looking at it like, okay, if I have all of this in my arsenal, it's kind of hard to beat because I'm not just going to be good at one thing.
Right.
So if I'm good at photography, if I'm good at videography, if I'm good at marketing, if I'm good at or event organization, it's not about having that skill. It's about acquiring that so I can pass it on. Because this is just energy. So there is the seeds that we plant to pass into other people. So if I learn this and I bring staff members on, the goal isn't to hoard that. The goal is to just pass it on, but someone has to learn it. So I might as well that person to learn it or to get about it around me. So we can move as one.
All right, and we're going to get into that a little bit later into the show to go to the beginning of your journey here with video aspects. When you were investing money into courses, first you said YouTube, right? And then courses and all the rest. Yeah. So if people are interested and they're like, okay, I have some interest in video, I want to learn how to do it better, would you recommend certain courses for them to start with that was really helpful for you?
100%. I mean, I think you can start on YouTube. The problem is with YouTube is that YouTube, let's just say, has 1 million creators on there, right? Just throwing a number out. And each of those creators have their own distinct style.
Yeah.
So one will contradict the next. There's multiple different ways of skinning a cat. So for me, instead of going on YouTube and trying to find answers for problems, therefore, if you don't know the problem, you're going to be searching wild to try to figure out what's the next thing to do. But if you have everybody telling you different things, it sets you mad. So what I did is I established, okay, these are the 5 top people that I want to listen to. And then the courses I bought.
How do you find those top 5?
Time. Just
okay.
figuring out
so research there too.
Research there. And then with that, just like understanding the business aspect of it. Because creating the video is just one side, right? You need to figure out now how do you get leads? How do you turn those leads into closing those? So it's learning the full thing. So if I can get a course that is going to teach me content creation plus business, then I'll more likely buy that one. Right. Because so it's just about how efficient can you be.
So can you share with us who those top 5 are decided to look into, or is that asking each of your seats?
No, it's to remember. So one of the people who taught me a lot in business is their YouTube page is called Future. That's a good one to start in, and that's business side things. And then there's another that originally started called Full-Time Filmmakers, and that was the most expensive investment that I put in learning that craft. They all taught you business side of it. And there's like 3 other courses that I bought as well that just taught you lighting separate and also lighting and video, and it's just compiling all of that, building my own style. And over the years, that's what I've done. You copy people, you take from everybody and create your own. I think I've accomplished that with the video and photos that I do.
You absolutely have. From the work that I've seen you put out, you absolutely have. And again, it just brings in all the different creative aspects that you've worked in.
Yeah.
That you were like, okay, I'm now going to hone into the video part. So we've got to go to a commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to get very much more into the details of HD Digital.
Sounds good.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Get your child ready for the new school year with Total Health in Grand Pavilion. Total Health's comprehensive back-to-school checkups include ENT, eye, and dental pediatric exams. Ensure your child's health with a complete health report card before school begins. Contact Total Health today at 333-2222 or visit totalhealth.ky to schedule your child's back-to-school checkup. Total Health, where wellness meets education, because every child deserves a healthy start. Jay and Money presents the official Jamaica Independence celebrations on Friday, August 2nd at the Lion Center. Featuring from Jamaica, the Colonel, Josie Wales, Richie Stevens, and comedian Blacka Ellis. Kids Talent Contest, Best Dress Contest, lots of prizes and giveaways. Music by Joshy Vibes and B Styles, your MC, Lady T. Health fair from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. where you can get your PSA, diabetes, and blood pressure checked for free. Don't miss Josie Wales, Richie Stevens, and Blacka Ellis on Friday, August 2nd at the Lion Center. Admission is absolutely free. Sponsored by Best Dressed Chicken, Popeyes, Ministry of Border Control, Labor and Culture, Kmart Hair and Beauty Supply, Ministry of Health and Wellness, Cost You Less, iCool, Animal House, Ministry of Tourism and Transport, Radio Cayman, and Breeze FM.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
All right, good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and in studio with me, I have Kevon Douglas, a long-time person in Cayman that I've known, and very proud of your growth again, Kevon. So we were talking about really the beginning of your journey in the first 15 minutes there, how you really started out and just working, really. DJ, event promoter, radio host, TV host, and now you have your own company, HD Digital. So you also had the event promotions company too, and we have HD Digital. So when you learned your video aspects, at what point did you say, okay, I'm forming a company? And how did you come up with a vision of your company? What did you want it to be?
Different. Wanted it to be different. And how to be different. And it was just from, if you know me, it's not that I am loud, because I do like to stay in the shadows, but I'm very disruptive when I do pop out. When I do come out, it is like, where did he get that idea from? How is he executing the way he's executing it? And I think to be disruptive is always going to work. So people kind of take the word disruptive and misconstrue it. I look positive, for example, to safer, more healthier 1,800 calories. You're being disruptive in a positive way. So I believe that you can be disruptive every single time, but in a positive way. Right. And how do you find that out? That's where the market comes in. All right, you do marketing and you have those numbers and analytics, and then when you get those numbers now, you pass on the creators out there to execute that, and that's where the video and stuff really shines. Because if you have all of these formulas that I've learned over the past couple of years, you put that into what is that formula. Now you have a whole big pot of Cayman style beef because your formula's on point.
Yeah, that's very true. So, okay. So you decided you're going to start HD Digital. Was there a gap, particularly that you saw, that you knew, okay, this is the gap currently in Cayman that I can address, that I can basically feed?
Yeah, it started out when I was on the radio, and I got somebody telling me how much they're paying for video, right? And I said, "You paid what? How much thousands?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, I think I'm in the wrong business again. So I had to pivot one more time, right?
I love that.
I said, okay, and it was a no-brainer for me. But it wasn't about what at that time, because times have changed, what these people were charging for video. It was, you paid that for that video? I was like, well, if you're gonna pay that for that video, I'm gonna give you a video that looks like that figure. So that was the game changer. Is okay, well, let's add super high quality to it, right? Where everything is thought through, the audio is on point, storytelling is on point, where it's the highest possible. And there's all types of business, right? So do you want a lower end, a middle end, high end? And I chose to be on the middle to high end. That's just a different field or different demographic, right? It's a niche down. It's not for everybody.
What made you choose the middle to high end? Because you knew what the other person was getting paid.
Yeah, I mean, I knew the work that it was required to push out, let's say, that style of video. So I'm a hard worker. Hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard.
Right.
So I really believe in that. And I said, okay, well, I know I'm going to work 10 times harder, so my video is going to be 10 times better. So if it's going to be 10 times better, then it makes sense to go to the higher end clientele. And it's just also from a business standpoint too. When you are doing so much, you are so busy, you can't keep up. So if that's a cue for you in the business world to say, if I'm always busy, I'm charging too little. Right. So that's the cue to say, oh, maybe I may need to shift a little bit and pivot to go to a different demographic. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just business. It's nothing personal or anything like that. And then you start to work less, but you're more efficient. So it's more like
another
quality
formula.
Yeah. You got a formula, and you once you start to understand the formulas and you put them in your business, you start to see the difference. It's like working out.
Right.
It's a while, but after a while you start to, I see it now. Here's a client that I never had. You start to just nurture that client and build on that, build the relationships. And the relationships are the hardest thing for me sometimes to maintain. It's the most important thing in business, but that's the key.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. It's interesting, but you know that, so that's something okay, this is something I can work on and strengthen. So
yes,
whatever might be the weak point for you can identify it. And I have no doubt that you're doing that, because as I've seen you tackle things, you just told us about your journey, that you see, okay, I see something here, I can work on it, I can make it better, boom, and that's what you've done throughout your whole journey.
And that's the most painful part, though. That's the part people don't want to necessarily look at.
What do you mean?
Because it's a lot of internal. Right. So you're always thinking, okay, how can I make myself better? Or how can I think in consequence. So a lot of people think in
you think we're comfortable being where we are?
Yes.
And so that growth is
so you have to
make
be
us uncomfortable.
So if you can figure out, because the problem is every business has a pain point. They have a problem, and it's an uncomfortable problem. You're going to more than likely have to address that uncomfortable problem to say, okay, now I understand your problem. If you have the problem, you're halfway there to the solution. So figuring out is the most painful side on any business, any person, because if you have a problem internally, it's hard to, number one, take constructive criticism, and it's even harder to look in the mirror and say, nah, I gotta change this, or this is wrong, because in everybody's head, they're the problem.
Right.
So it's always hard to internalize what the problem is and doing the work.
And that can be applied, as you said, so to business, but also in your personal life. So it's doing the work, but you're either going to stay the same or you're going to learn and grow. And the more you learn about yourself, I believe, the more you will grow, the more of that knowledge you'll be able to share and put out. And then it's that energy, it's going to come back to you tenfold in that sense.
100%. And I think this is one of the main things with companies or businesses is right now is they have a pain point. And just navigating social media, navigating marketing, navigating the trends. And sometimes you don't have to understand that problem, right? You hire somebody to understand the problem for you and get that solution, because there's like 36, and if I'm quoting this number, don't nail me to the cross.
No.
But there's like 36 different ways of marketing, right? To market something. And being a business owner and figuring out where to go is super painful. So this is where we come in and we come try to identify, okay, well, who's your target demographic? What's the age? We can go down to the nitty-gritty of, okay, what's in their bank account? Because you got to know who you're selling to. You got to understand essentially like it's called a client persona, who it is, right? That we're targeting. And I think a lot of people miss this step. And they're just kind of making content and randomly doing it, which is fine. It's a good starting point. But you have to be able to look back and say, okay, well, these numbers point to this not working. So I see a lot of businesses, maybe you're having video, right? So if video is one of our specialties, our videos need to hit a certain number of likes, certain number of shares. These are interactive content, right? And your numbers dictate how well your sales are going to go. It's not really important about the likes per se, right? But it also is, because the likes indicate how well people resonate with your content. If your content resonates with people, people are going to want to buy it. So if your numbers are down, then you're really doing something wrong. The pain point is, why are my numbers down? That's what we got to figure out and try to say, okay, well, is it a photo thing? Are you doing too much photos? Are you doing too much flyers? People don't want to be sold to anymore. You're showing enough the back end of the company.
But we like to buy.
We do, but here's the thing. Here's something that business owners hate hearing. And I always say it. Stop selling.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs to sell. But the problem is everybody is selling. So it becomes over when you go on social media, there are ads in your face 24/7.
Right.
So I have a quote that if I ever write a book, it's going to be called Trick 'em But Don't Lie to 'em.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. So if you can find out how to trick them, don't lie to them, you're more than likely going to win. So how do you make the product seem different than all the other products out there?
Well, why trick them? Why not educate them?
It's just my trick them may seem kind of, but it's here's the thing, right? When you go to Burger King and you look on that menu, the burger doesn't look like that.
No, it doesn't.
So you see what I'm saying? But it does taste good, right?
Most of the food that I get.
So I mean, it's just like any other thing, right? It's like you go out, you dress properly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not educating people in a sense, but you're showing people that I've put time, energy behind something, and that's essentially the trick 'em, right? It's like, this is, if I want to dress up today, I can. If I want to dress down today, I can. So this is the way you navigate the world, and you get different reactions based on how you do these things.
And you're right about the menu thing, because I will see a photo of something on a menu that looks amazing, and I'm like, yeah, I do want to get that. That's exactly what I want, right?
100%.
There.
So let's just say, and let's just use I'll use some businesses for example, right? If you look at it, the gold standard for a restaurant of like spitting out products and driving revenue is the fast food chains, right? But they're not going to put a phone photo on their menu. Mm-hmm. So you as a restaurant, so when you go on social media, your job as the business is, when you post something on social media, you're supposed to stop people in their tracks.
Right.
They're supposed to say, I want that today.
Right. That visual impact is huge.
100%.
Absolutely.
Well, what do people want to see?
I'm sold on visual a lot. So.
It has to be.
Yeah.
You know, and especially with video, I mean, I have grown brands to, let's just say, I'll throw a number out, $10,000 a day in profit, right? And it's solely from video. There's no...
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Good for you.
There's no flyers, there's no photos per se. It's just video content. And then content has changed, right?
Continuously
change, right?
Absolutely.
So even as a business owner, that's hard for you to keep up with those trends.
Algorithms continuously are changing.
Oh my God.
So that's such a constant thing. We got to go to a commercial break, but when we come back, we got to go more into the details, because we're not going to have so much time left. So we got to go into the details of HD Digital Services, and I want to hear some of your favorite projects that you have created as well.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Commercial break, and then we're going to hear a little bit more from Kevon Douglas and HD Digital Cayman.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
On behalf of the Port Authority of the Cayman Islands, the Ministry of Ports is hosting a public consultation meeting. They had two, and there's one more tonight, to examine the options for the future expansion of the cargo port. This is your chance to share your views and shape our island's future. Join them tonight, Thursday, August 1st, at Church of God Chapel in Bodden Town. The meeting starts at 6:30 p.m., and if you can't make it, you can participate through the online survey, which you can access on the ministry's government page or tune in live on Facebook. Your voice matters, so be a part of the conversation and help build a better future for our Cayman Islands. For more details, visit gov.ky/tourism-transport or follow the Ministry of Tourism and Ports on Facebook and Instagram.
Shop at Funky Tanks, the home of electronics and more. Check out Funky Tanks' 2 locations, Shedden Road and Countryside Savannah, for loads of savings. In stock at Funky Tanks, both locations, stoves, fridges and small appliances, mini split air conditioning units, sheets and comforters, all sizes, window curtains, cell phones and telephone accessories, musical instruments, karaoke and Bluetooth speakers, portable radios and portable fans are now available. Get yours for your hurricane kit. Funky Tanks. For more information, call 949-0998.
Can you tell me what does a turtle do on his birthday? He celebrates.
Celebrate your loved one's special birthday with a birthday shout-out live on For the Record with Mr. Oret Connor, only on Radio Cayman. WhatsApp your loved one's name to 925-3261. That's 925-3261. Radio Cayman's birthday shout-outs live on For the Record with Mr. Oret Connor every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands. From Tortuga Wholesalers. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And by Superior Auto. They keep your car in tune. Call 949-9570 or 525-9571. The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. And in studio with me, I have Kevon Douglas of HD Digital Cayman. So, Kevon, we were talking about some of those problems that could be in a business, the pain points, and how to solve them, how to find them. We've been talking about the conversation naturally just takes us into places, and I love hearing your reflections on some of the things that we're mentioning, but we haven't even spoken about what your services are at HD Digital Cayman. So we got to let the people know what services do you offer. We'll go from there.
All right. So I would say one of the popular one is definitely content creation and social media management, which is kind of like a base for marketing in a sense. And then branding, I would probably say, is one of my favorite because that's telling the story of your company. All right. This is your company. We need to sit down and figure out every single thing that is going to internalize your viewers or buyers can know about your story. Logo creation, website design. Back to the photos. If you need headshots for your company, we do those as well. So anything to do in the digital route of software, there manage that. You marketing campaigns 3 months, 6 months, 1 year.
Okay.
You want to achieve and make that message as loud and as big as possible. That's kind of what.
Okay. What's your team like?
So my team is small. We keep it super small, and I work with a lot of crews now too. So I try to stay from behind the camera now. And now just pass on that information to creators, make them work, come in and edit it. And then I'm also bringing on a new partner as well because we're going through a rebrand. So,
okay.
Yeah.
What's the rebrand?
The rebrand is just really focusing on marketing.
Okay.
And it's so much as we still with the content. Content is always going to be there. We love content, but in order to get the best out of content, marketing is where it's at. Getting those numbers, those analytics, understanding them, and then passing that on to the creative standpoint, merging those two.
Okay. Now, creative marketing. When we're talking about that, well, even before action, so branding, you said, is one of your favorite things to work on. Not a lot of people know what branding is, or there's definitions of it.
Yeah, it's so much.
What would you say branding is? And because to me, you are a brand, period, Kevon Douglas. So what would you say? I mean, you really have been, right?
What a brand is what people feel when they hear about your company. So, it's like when you walk into the room, it's like what you heard about that person. You hear you hear the stories, you see their aura, right? So brand is creating that. So a logo isn't a logo. A logo is literally when they see it, you need them to feel your company.
Right.
Right. And there's a lot of work that goes in behind that. It's called a brand identity.
Right.
And those take some time to build. There's a lot of questions involved. This is, again, solving all these problems for companies and trying to figure out who they are, what they want to achieve. And this is good for startup companies. Even if you've been around, if you don't have brand identity, it's to get when they see or hear you.
Right. Absolutely. And I agree with that. Your definition of it in that sense.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. I mean, it's what people do when you're not in the room, right? So branding is very important, and I think people realize it because marketing is what you see and will just be for itself.
Nike have multiple shoes and clothing lines, but at the end of the day, the brand is Nike. And then the marketing is now within the product.
And then look at Rolex. Rolex does very little marketing.
Yeah.
Right?
They don't have to do anything.
There's
a brand, yeah.
There's a prestige, a luxury that speaks for themselves, and it's, a very niche market for that. So it's interesting how two very different brands and how they approach the global market. So
100%.
So creative marketing, what is that all about?
Creative marketing is where we just fired a marketing team. I'm just playing. But no, it is not the conventional style of marketing. I think marketing in the past 10 years has kind of I don't want to say stay the same, but as you know, marketing changes. I know a lot of marketers on the island keep up to times with everything, but I think where it's going in right now is creators have the power now, right? So being a creator, you are a creator, a marketer, so you're essentially a hybrid. So like earlier, before, the marketing team would have the idea and then pass it on to the creator. But with a creator, we operate outside the box. The marketing team, they usually do stay within that parameter of the box of safety. Now, when you're a creator, you take risks, so you're disruptive. You're going to do things that people may not usually do. You're going to think outside the box, even from a marketing standpoint, because your point of view has changed. So let's just say, for example, let's take a company or business, and how would that work for creative marketing? And let's just use a gym, for example. So the thing that gyms do is they will do a good job of branding. They have their logo, they have their theme inside, and their aesthetics, right? People love that. That is the future. Now, the marketing side of it now is where I think things need to shift a little bit. With, for example, for a gym owner, one of the things I would do is or your gym so much, because realistically speaking, there are multiple gyms on this island, right? So other than aesthetic, it's pretty similar. So what make your line out is the personnel that you have, the personal trainers and their personalities. So putting a human face to the company. So instead of spending all of your capital on building the brand and company, in a sense, shift that to personal trainer. Give them a voice, give them some branding, build their personal brand out, because at the end of the day, they're connected to you.
Right.
So they're essentially going to bring in the clients. That's tricking them but not lying to them.
Right. Well, in that sense,
You
yeah.
see?
But you really point, because there's so many trainers that I'll follow on social media, and not necessarily the gym. I mean, great, I know the gym is there, but it's the trainer that I'm more attracted to. What their content is, what they're saying, how it kind of aligns or speaks to me, and that's what gets me into whatever it might be.
Go.
So I would completely agree. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. So you highlight the personal trainer, and you put a lot of time, effort into them. I think people kind of would stay away from that because you're afraid the personal trainer would leave. And there's pros and cons with everything. But I mean, what's better for the company? That's the direction people want. People want to see the personal trainers, and it's not that they're not doing it. It's doing it in the right fashion. What's going to work? A lot of personal trainers and gyms maybe going on the fun side of things, which is great. You need to lighten it, dampen the mood. But as a personal trainer, you need to be the person of knowledge. So you have to be able to put out content that is creative, fast-paced, trendy, and also just be able to just hit people in the face with information. So it's like, oh, I go to him. Realistically, you're going to them.
Right. How do you balance? Now you're the owner of HT Digital Cayman. How do you balance that, having that marketing mind with the formula ideas and saying, okay, this is the idea that we have. This is kind of the formula that it's going into. And now you have to go to the creators, which you're also a creator. So how do you separate the two?
There is
find
none.
The balance.
There is no. I found that. Because I would be looked at as a what's the I can't remember the terminology, but I'm a different person.
I was gonna say describe it, and maybe the word will come to me.
I am,
but maybe not.
You know, I'm essentially a unicorn. So I don't fit with solely business, nor do I fit with just the creators. So it's always never going to be balanced. There's always. Yeah.
You're a chameleon.
Yes, it's a chameleon in a sense, but I'm able to navigate both sides of things. And when it comes to balance, it's just, you got to understand that I'm different. I'm going to walk different, talk different, and I'm not going to talk like a creator, nor I'm going to talk like a businessman in a sense. I'm a bit of both.
There's a hybrid of it.
It's
you
a
talk
hybrid.
like both.
Yes.
So in this show, at least, in my experience right now, so it's both I'm getting.
And I think that's, and that's not just a me thing. I think that's where it's turning to the creators having the power once they understand the marketing side. So that's creative marketing.
Do you see that growing a lot in Cayman, that creator power?
Worldwide. More so worldwide.
Worldwide, but in Cayman?
In Cayman, no. I think...
So I feel like it's trickling a little.
It is. A lot of creators have stepped out on their own and doing their own thing. And it's just about growing that now. Because again, there's always tiers, right? So being able to grow and turn that and you into a brand, because they're separate. Your brand and your company's brand are two separate things.
Absolutely.
So it's just understanding and navigating that. One of the persons that I watched that does an amazing job, who just came out with the highest grossing rated R movie, was Ryan Reynolds.
Which movie?
That is Deadpool.
Okay.
Right? So that is the highest grossing one. However, he's not just an actor. He's also a marketer and a business entrepreneur. And he's a billionaire. And he got that way by just being creative with his marketing. Marketing is supposed to be fun.
Yes.
And he has brought back the fun in marketing. And that's where we need to get back to. And fun and creative. So you got to be disruptive in order to do that.
Okay. Now I want to hear about what some of your favorite projects have been. I can tell you mine to share that with you. So it was She Digital Age, I think on Instagram. And it was a video that you did, just like a behind the scenes of, what I go through. It was a video, I believe, for School of Fitness.
Yeah.
And I remember a young athlete, somebody from School of Fitness, she was running in front of the post office right in Georgetown here, and in between the post office and the columns. And I remember that in your post you had said something about you were filming her, but you were also running.
Yeah.
And so showing what you have to do. You can't just stand there. The different aspects that you have to go through in order to capture, I guess, that video. I want to say that that moment, but
it's a lot.
Capture that. So I love that. I love seeing that. Okay, he's showing what he goes behind the scenes with that, and I loved how that turned out. I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into that. I mean, scouting the location, time of day is important. Figuring out, okay, well, how does the end product need to look? Having references, mood boards. So all that was put into, let's just say, that one shot. And then I'm fast. So
really?
I think I beat her. If you look back at the video, I actually beat her with a camera in my hand.
Okay.
Yeah. So
you weren't on a skateboard. You were.
I used to skateboard. I used to rollerblade.
Okay.
Yeah, but I know people love stuff like that, the behind the scenes, which I'm guilty of. I need to do more of that because there's so much that I do behind the scenes, and just like everybody else, I struggle with. Okay, I need to get the camera going, which just died, but I need to get this and I need to put this here and put that there. So it's hard, but people do love that behind the scenes.
Okay, so what's your favorite project or one of them that you've worked on?
So I did a short film for Pirates Week, and it wasn't on the marketing side, it was on the creative side. That was a more point and shoot aspect, but they did give me the freedom to kind of navigate how stuff looked. So they left that up to me, and I think
that was a couple years ago?
It was a couple years ago.
It wasn't last year for sure. It was a couple years ago.
Radio.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, that was awesome. I remember that.
That was, I think, as far as like quality and looks, like somebody actually called me yesterday about that. And they're like, I'm not going to lie to you. Like nobody couldn't tell me that wasn't Jack Sparrow in the video. Like the real, like how he looked, the lighting, everything was perfect. I think that was the best visual project I've ever put together, and I've done some really cool things, but that was fun because I was getting to highlight K-Man and just people in costume and actors, and it was cool.
That was cool. That was definitely absolutely memorable. I remember that, so it definitely had an impact.
Yeah,
so way to go.
Thank you.
We got to go to the 9 a.m. headline news and end the show, but before we do so, is there any kind of last thoughts that you'd like to leave with our listeners?
I'm here to help. I'm here to help. Anything you need help with marketing, content creation, I'm here to help. Or we have the team ready, and you can just feel free to give me a call at 928-9065, and you can email me at kevon@hddigital.com.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for joining us this morning. It was great to have you. Hopefully we'll speak to you in the future soon. And thanks to all our listeners for tuning into the Business Buzz, and we're going to take you to the 9 a.m.
Wednesday
headline
evening.
news.
This is the People's Radio